Hey guys, come back to you with another video. With today's gameplay, we have some, I'm saying Vine Earth. And Earth, guys, it's an interesting game mode that it comes around once in a while. But yeah, Earth, in my opinion, it's a really good game. There's a lot of ways to have fun in it. And then in Earth, you can get some fun challenges, or you can piss people off depending how you want to play Earth, or you can get really tilted by playing something, giving yourself a big handicap. But yeah, so guys, not go on about why unlike Earth, but that's not what we're here for today. Because here for today, we're gonna talk about why League is so toxic. And there's gonna be three things main factors that make the game so toxic. One is the mobile factor. The second is the new player factor. And three are some design choices in League that make it a bit toxic. So let's start with the first one, the MOBA factor. And we have the MOBA factor, guys. Is the game? It's highly competitive. MOBAs are highly competitive. No matter what you're playing at, people are going to be sweating, and they're going to be giving it their all, or just to make sure they can win. And then these highly competitive situations, guys, in League. When you get a bad teammate or someone that's not communicating, you get a subpar teammate for your ELO. It could frustrate people. It could frustrate you, frustrate your team if you're the subpar player, and then it can, sometimes it could, get someone to a point where they're gonna be, instead of, trying to be helpful, they're gonna start to yell and say some, interesting things, some good choice words to you if you're not playing well. I've been both that player in the game. That's one of the things. And then, second thing about the nature of MOBA style games, guys, it requires team effort. Some people don't know what teamwork is, just realistically. At least, you're communicating, you're telling, let's say you're queued up, that's a separate thing about, teamwork. If you're queued up, it's a really different game. But if you're playing by yourself, it's like you're all doing Baron, but you have one teammate that's just nowhere to be found. He might be at another lane. And then some people just don't get the concept of teamwork. Maybe you're going for an invade and you get someone that's like, nope, they're just gonna sit in the back. Or as yesterday, because today that I'm recording the audio for this gameplay, the commentary, I was trying to team fight as Ari. And I'm going in, and I just have a Draven sit back with a Yumi, and they did nothing. And, some people just don't grasp the concept of teamwork in League. And then, trying to push alone sometimes, or not going in, can lead to some frustration and can elicit some choice words. Another thing with this MOBA factor, some people are not good with losing. Yes, very true. They can be behind in the MOBA game. They can get behind in League with your team, though, so you're probably going to lose. You have some of those games that you just, you're just getting ran over. And, they do not take losses well. And when they've never really faced adversity, might have not been in sports, so they just don't have that sense of being able to deal with a loss. So then, when something starts to go wrong, and they have an inflated ego, so they start to have some choice words, and then another one that just, it's going to be under one of these, one with all these categories is that people just like to name call and be toxic. You always get those. The second one is the new player factor, guys. Is, let's say, hypothetically, you're a new player, and let's say you're playing a support role, and you're new. You're playing the. Let's go put this at the ADC or jungling role. You're a new player and you pick up those roles, and let's say you're playing not as expected at the because quick play in League. We're gonna use quick play in League draft pick. Everyone's random level, so maybe you get a high elo and you get some low elo people. Which I exactly don't know how the matchmaking works, but let's just say you get some high elo and some low elo people, and you get the higher elo on your team. And they're expecting something else from your playstyle, but you're new. And they can get upset. That's one of the big issues. You're not farming correctly, you're not ganking correctly, you're not prioritizing objectives or team fights. Maybe your team's fighting, but as the jungler, you're too busy farming. So that's one of the issues, is a new player factor. Maybe you're an ADC and you're not farming enough, or your support isn't all-in support, like Nautilus, Blitzcrank, Thresh, Leona. They're one of those all-in supports, and they go in and they expect you, as ADC sometimes to go in, and they end up dying. And they can say some choice words about it. So that's another thing. Another thing, guys, is, we're going to go back to the design factors. And so one of the things is, non-tox is, MOBAs, I'm going to say this, I'm going to talk about it. MOBAs in general are toxics. Some people like to blame the behavior of people who play, which is in part the truth, but not the whole picture. And then MOBAs are toxic in design. And let me explain that one. When you allow the game to have a setting of stress and as a strategical choice within the game rules, you kind of, promoting toxicity. I've seen this point, some people have made this point, but my point is, where I stand on this can be quite different, but that's not what we're here to talk about. And then let's say this. Some guy picked items that shouldn't or suboptimal, and then people stress him into making a different decision. That something happens, and then a non-toxic design choices. Have no items or hide them. Let's say some beginner player is making suboptimal farming. Don't stress the person into that, And there's a design choice for that. And then when they farming to make growth more equitative, I guess that was more a thing in the past from League when they had catch-up XP. I didn't play much, but I've recently heard about that time. So, they could do that for some people. They're having a rough time, give them catch-up XP. But, yeah, that's one of the things. And then someone left the match because, they're raging, they're having a bad game, their team's losing, or they're not getting help from the jungler. Add a component bot player to play for that player, that sort of things, I think could be interesting from League, or even, let's see, this is a concept, it's a bit far-stretched for me, right? But it's one I came up with. So people, when they leave, like Call of Duty, they leave a game, and then you could have someone else join in. At that point, that's searching for a game, it's like, they could select their own champion, or they're going to be forced to play that champion, of course, so it doesn't screw the whole flow of the game. But it's like, yeah, you get a new player immediately, and they come and try and maybe potentially help something. That's one of the things, League guys can be very toxic sometimes, but yeah, so that's what we're here to talk about. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are going to be building a new PC soon, so that's going to be an interesting YouTube video when we drop it and when we get the parts in. As always, guys, make sure you stay on that grind. Peace. Make sure when you leave a like, comment, subscribe. And you subscribe to the channel, you turn notifications on. Until next time, peace.
That the brothers on the rise now. Woo! Endless celebrations all in my house. Yeah. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. Yeah. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always